MCP. What is this context protocol everybody keeps talking about? So, like we talked about, I created this Notion site. It took me, I don't know, a fraction of a second. It's actually free. I don't even pay for this. You guys have access to it. But what's great about it is now a database. So all the information on here, if you wanted to query, we actually, on Notion, it's got its own LLM. Let's see. Show me pages about MCP. So Notion, I like. It's simple, stupid. It's really easy. And what it does is it allows it to use it as a database of text, which guess what, is perfect for an LLM. And you can use this to search as a data set. Now, let me go back to Dust. And we go to knowledge. Let's see. Yeah, we talked about clicking company data and connected data. See, it says Notion there. This is the MCP connection, right? So what you want to do is once you've got one of these accounts, I'll just show you in Dust first, but we'll show it on a bunch of different tools. There is, let's see, connections. You can add different connections. Now, this is not unlimited connections, but these are some popular ones. You could manually add in connections as well, but this is just what it's built off of. So you could have Microsoft connection to SharePoint, Notion, Confluence, BigQuery from Google, all these things. Now, on your regular LLMs, let me go to ChatGPT. In your bottom right, when you click settings, it says connectors. What's cool is, guess what? Everything is a data source. So your email, say for instance, you want to go through the process of just every day you get a report of all the emails that haven't been completed or that needs to be a high priority. Well, once you've connected it through MCP and there's direct connection, look, I have multiple Notion pages. I can connect them all. I've got Outlook email, even my Microsoft Teams, or if you've got Slack or you're using some other chat protocol, it can directly connect, and then you've got all these other connections, and those are called MCP connections. Now, what's the difference between MCP and API? It's just that it's a lot narrower and designed specifically for language models, right? So if I don't think anybody here is building a software company on AI, this is the wrong class, but if you have like a software company and you have a lot of APIs, why can't you connect it in here? APIs are designed for very precise and a large number of different types of data sets coming in and out. And so they're usually very large. Typically for MCP, you're only going to have like 2 to 5 different input-output connections that simplifies the whole process. But that is how you do it in ChatGPT. Every single one, in fact, Claude is probably the best out there. Claude effectively invented MCP. So whenever you go through the Claude process for settings, you can see all these different connectors that it's got, but you can add your own custom connector, your name and your own MCP server. You can do that. And like we talked about, single sign-on authentication, you've got that in there. So, Claude or Anthropic, the mother company, created the whole concept of MCP. There's pre-built ones that you can actually pull down. So like I use Asana in the company, so they have their own MCP server. There's a lot of different ones, and they're coming out pretty quickly. If you don't have any of those, Zapier, which I'm sure many of you have heard of, Zapier is the MCP heaven. So if you use Zapier, it's basically just connecting one application to another. And now Zapier has an MCP. So if you've got anything that's already built on Zapier and its connection, you can connect all the dots together. So that makes it super, super easy to kind of like look at all the different data, and there's kind of a quick demo on that. I eat, breathe, and sleep MCP. I think, Jason, you asked a question about this last time. You can store all the files and project files that you want inside of a project, but the problem is it starts getting limited, and it just starts getting obtuse, and you can't download it. You don't know what's going on where. Guess what? My opinion, if you really want to analyze a large amount of information, do not store it in your project file. It's like a one-to-one, great. But if you've got a lot of information, use the MCP connection to say Notion or any of these other data sources which makes your life easier. And like we talked about creating an AI agent, connect the two. Now you've got a very powerful AI agent. There's an incredible amount of information, so you don't have to waste a lot of time. Any questions on MCP? Let's see. There's some other questions though separately. I'll pull it up here. So Andres, you said, which AI platform is best suited for building financial models? I think we kind of covered that before. Just use that comparison sheet for like finance data. You've got Gemini, you've got GPT 5, and you've got Grok that are pretty good at the computational side for that kind of stuff. See, David asked a question. I'm able to have the AI agent look at Bloomberg data. I'd like to point it towards a particular set of companies and have it checked. So Bloomberg likes to play with itself. It doesn't like to play nice with the other kids of the block. So you'd have to create some kind of data portal from Bloomberg to be able to pull through an API, to then pull into a data server, to then pull into another tool. My gut feeling is you would have to either have a developer or you could vibe code. And then if there's an API for Bloomberg, you could use that AI agent and connect it through API to the database set on Bloomberg. But I know Bloomberg has created their own AI tool. I don't know how good it is. But yeah, I mean, that would be fabulous if you could pull that data. If you don't need as rich economics.com, i.e. breathe and sleep. I would say the most boring source on the entire planet is probably tradingeconomics.com. I love it. It's my favorite. It's just raw data. But you can get all the corporate information, several 100,000 finance data points that are in there that you can pull in through API, and it's a little bit more friendly. You can actually pull it through Excel or even a screen scrape from that standpoint if it goes through there. And that's where agentic processes on browsers, we can talk about that a little bit later. All right, next Raul said, can I connect my Dust to HubSpot? I saw they have a native integration with Salesforce. HubSpot does have an MCP connection. I remember an interview just recently with the founder of HubSpot. They are AI agent like fanatics over there, so that they probably do play pretty nice with different types of tools. But Dust, remember, don't think of Dust as connecting to everything. Dust's main use case is you want to build AI agents and you want to connect that to a structured data set, kind of like David talked about, in whether it's updating or you've got SQL or you've got these MCP connections. So think about it as that, as opposed to I've got all this other information. You want to have that information talked to the AI agent. So you want it to be all that data on the outside and then talk to the AI agent that you've created in Dust. Go ahead, Rithika.
I just wanted to quickly add that similar to what David Grice was saying earlier, if you just log into Grice and you ask it what the full capabilities are, if you wanted to connect it to HubSpot, it probably could be very helpful in telling you exactly what you can and can't do rather than you going through the documentation yourself.
Awesome.